All right, so we've sort of already done an example of this when we put the 4 as the coefficient. This should be pretty quick. In example 4, we're finding the derivative of 4x to the 8th. This is the power rule. The 8 would come out front. You would multiply by the 4. You would get 32x. 8 minus 1 is 7. All right, so the setup is the same. You just have to do a little extra mental math. If this is a negative 1x to the 12th, multiply out front, negative 12x to the 11th. There's your derivative. And for your last one, we're going to rewrite it to begin with as pi times x to the negative 1. Remember, pi is a constant. It's a number out front, coefficient rather, not constant. Negative 1 pi x, and then remember negative 1 minus 1 is negative 2. You don't need to write the 1. I just put it there so you could see kind of how it was all working together. So your answer could be negative pi x to the negative 2. But remember that negative 2 is only attached to the x. So this would be negative pi over x squared if you wrote it in its fractional form. You should be able to leave your answers with negative exponents, though. That is perfectly fine in calculus. I'll give you a second, and then we're going to start to do these new problems, 3 new problems that I'm replacing with what's in the notes. Everybody done with A through C? The top? All right, so here are the new problems. What happens when we are given a function, such as this, that has adding and subtracting involved? We just evaluate them separately. So my f prime of x is going to equal, bring the 3 out front. 3 minus 1 is 2, 3x squared. The derivative of negative 2, which is a constant, is going to be plus 0. For now, write the plus 0 so you get used to working with it and thinking about it. All right, and it shows me, too, that you did each of the terms. If I move into k, I'm going to rewrite f of x as x to the 1/2. That will come up frequently, so you do need to know that. Minus x to the negative 1. Again, no fractions. So you're converting. From here, we're going to take the derivative. So f prime of x is equal to 1/2 x. 1/2 minus 1 is negative 1/2. There's a negative 1 in front of the second x, which I then have to multiply by the exponent that's coming out front. So that becomes a plus 1x. Negative 1 minus 1 is negative 2. So I have one derivative, a second answer. For my third, f prime of x is going to equal negative 3x to the negative 3 minus 1, which is negative 4, plus 0. 2 pi is a constant. Third and final problem's answer. All right, so from here, we're going to go back to the notes. I'm going to draw a line right here. And I want to talk about this derivative. The derivative of e to the x. If you are given a problem that has e to the x in it, its derivative is e to the x times x prime, which means the derivative of x. So let me show you what it looks like. If we look at this first problem here, f prime of x is equal to e to the x derivative is e to the x, so this stays the same. 3 e to the x. That is not an error or mistake. times 1. Where did I get the 1? What is the derivative of x? The derivative of x is 1 minus 10x to the first. Bring the 2 out, multiply by the 5, reduce the power up top. This is my answer right here. Okay?